Good morning, students. Today I am going to continue chapter number 3, Money and Credit from Economics. And today's topics are number 1 is variety of credit arrangements, examples on the basis of village credit and loans from cooperative. And topic number 2 is formal sector credit in India and formal and informal credit, who gets what. Okay, so students, in my previous explanation, as I told you about the terms of credit, in which every loan agreement specifies an interest rate which the borrower must pay to the lender along with repayment of the principal. Okay, and lender or those institutions who are going to give any loan, those are also called or known as lender, may demand collateral. And I told you that collateral means an asset like land, building, vehicle, livestock, and deposits with banks, own and uses this as a guarantee until the loan is repaid. Okay, and if the borrower fails to repay the loan, then the lender has the right to sell the collateral to obtain their payment. Okay, and students, I told you that terms of credit comprise interest rate, collateral, and also documentation requirement and the mode of repayment. Okay, and the terms of credit vary from one credit arrangement to another and maybe vary depending on the nature of the lender and the borrower. Okay, so students, today's topic number 1, which I am going to discuss with you, this is a variety of credit arrangements, and I will discuss with you 3 examples related to the village, in which how credit or loan taken by the borrowers from different institutions. Okay, so first case is related to the Shamal, and Shamal needs loans for cultivation on his 1.5 acres of land every season, and a few years back he would borrow money from the village money lender, and you know very well that always in formal sector like money lender charge high interest rate of any loan whatever taken by the any people, and whatever loan taken by the Shamal from the money lender charges 5% per month. It means 60% per annum, and you can understand that how it is very high. And for the last few years, Shamal has been borrowing from an agricultural trader in the village at an interest rate of 3% per month. And at the beginning of the cropping season, the trader supplies the farm inputs on credit, which is to be repaid when the crops are ready for harvest. So students, in the case of Shamal, we will see that Shamal trapped by the money lender, and also among that person who has given to them raw materials or inputs, whatever required by the Shamal to do any agriculture activity. Because and traders who supplied the materials to the Shamal, traders also makes the farmer's promise to sell the crop only to him. And in this way, the trader can ensure that the money is repaid to him only. Anyhow, and since the crop prices are low after the harvest, the trader is able to make a profit from buying the crop at a low price from the farmers and then selling it later when the price has risen. Okay, so in the case of Shamal, you can see that Shamal has no any benefit to take loan from money lender or supplier. Okay, and after that I am going to discuss with you next example of Arun, who has 7 acres of land, and he is one of the few persons in Sonpur to receive bank loan for cultivation from the bank. And the interest loan or interest rate whatever charged by the bank on the loan is only 8.5% per annum. And in the case of Shamal, you have seen that whatever interest rate charged by the money lender on the loan, that was 60% per annum. So on the basis of these two examples, you can differentiate between the interest rate whatever charged by the bank and whatever charged by the money lender. All right. And also Arun can be repaid anytime in the next 3 years. That's why Arun plans to repay the loan after harvest by selling a part of the crop, and he then able to store the rest of the crops in a cold storage. And again Arun can apply for a fresh loan from the bank against the cold storage receipt, because that crop whatever kept by the Arun in the cold storage, that is working like a credit. All right. And also bank offers this facility to farmers who have taken crop loan from them. Okay. And after that, third example is related to the Rama, who is very poor and working in a neighboring field, and you can understand that she is an agricultural laborer, and several months in the year Rama has no work. That's why in the month of year she required or needs credit or money to meet the daily expense like sudden illness or for function in the family are also met through loans. That's why Rama has to depend on her employer as a medium landowner in Sonpur for credit. And that landowner charges an interest rate of 5% per month. And if Rama wants to repay that loan, then she has to work in the landowner or employer. But most of the time, Rama has to take a fresh loan before the previous loan has been repaid. Okay? And at a present time, she owes the landowner rupees 5,000. And landowner also not treat very well with her. And on the basis of above, you can understand that Rama is unable to pay earlier loan, and again to complete the day by day needs and requirement, she has taken some loan, some fresh loan again. That's why he is trapped into debt. And also employer or landowner not treating well with her because he is unable to repay his loan. And Rama is also unaware about any policy whatever started by the bank, especially for the poor or poor agriculture workers, etc. And Rama tells that there is no any source of credit to take loan from the any other sources. That's why she is forced to take loan from the village landowner or employer. So students, on the basis of above three examples, you can understand that in among the Shyamal and Rama, Arun is very good in condition, and also he is using all the policy whatever started by the banks for the farmers or agriculture workers. After that, your next topic is loans from cooperative. And students, the meaning of cooperative is it is a voluntary association of individuals having common needs who join together for the achievement of common economic interest. And its aim is to serve the interest of the poorer section of society through the principle of self-help and mutual help. Okay? So students, in the villages, the other major source of cheap credit is cooperative societies also, and members of a cooperative complete their resources for cooperation in certain areas. And students, in India or in Indian villages, there are several types of cooperatives are there, such as farmers cooperatives, weavers cooperatives, and industrial workers cooperative, also Krishak cooperative function in Indian villages. and sometime it has 2,300 farmers as a member in the cooperative societies, and it accepts deposits from its members, and with the help of these deposits, whatever deposit by the members of the cooperative society, use as a collateral. Student, you have to understand, please be careful. Whatever money deposit by the groups or the members of the societies, that is using by the member as a collateral, and on the basis of that collateral, the cooperative has obtained a large loan from the bank, and these large loan or funds used to provide loans to member to complete their needs, like for marriage, like for to complete the needs and requirement for the agriculture field, or whatever requirement by the people. All right, and once these loans are repaid, another lending can take place. All right, like for example, Krishak Cooperative provide loans for the purchasing of agriculture implements and for the use of agriculture, etc., etc. All right, understood? Okay. After that, your next topic is formal sector credit in India. So students, on the basis of above example of Shamal, Arun, Rama and the members of cooperatives, you have seen that people obtain loans from various sources, and on the basis of above example, whatever various types of loans taken by the different people, we can very easily classify it as formal sector loans and informal sector loans. And students, formal sector loans are those kind of loans which is taken by the people from the banks and also from the cooperatives. Okay, and the informal types of loans related to the taken loan from money lenders, friends, relatives, traders or employer, etc., etc. Okay, so students, whatever graph one given on 48, on the basis of that you can clearly understand that how much loans taken by the people from which sectors. Okay, so like mostly due to the unawareness of the government policies, people only takes loan from the banks 1%, and from cooperative societies 25%, and after that other institutional agencies takes loan by the people 5%, and from the landlords only 1%, and relative and friends 8%, and other non-institutional agencies only 2%. So students, on the basis of graph 1, you can understand that people takes loan from the various sectors in which they are formal sector and informal sector. All right. But students, here I want to clear to you that whatever loans given by the bank to the common people, so the Reserve Bank of India supervise the functioning of all the banks of India, because Reserve Bank check the bank's maintenance and also check minimum cash balance out of the deposits they receive. And also students, Reserve Bank of India monitors or check the banks that actually maintaining cash balance. For example, Reserve Bank of India checks that whatever loan given by the banks that is not information related to the bank, that how much they are lending and to whom they are lending and what interest rate charged by the bank. And this all arrangement, whatever I am saying to you, that is checked by the Reserve Bank of India, because all these institutions established by the government only for the welfare of the common people and especially for the lower section and poor section of the society to improve their conditions. That's why Reserve Bank of India check the loaning activity, that it is compulsory to give rich people or big businessmen and also compulsory to give to those who are poor. All right. And after that, in informal sector, there is no any kind of arrangement or there is no any institution for the supervision of these sources of informal sector. That's why they charge very high interest on the loans, as I told you above in the example of Shamal and Rama. All right. And there is no one to stop them from using unfair interest rate to get their money back. And now you can understand, on the basis of comparison of formal sector, most of the informal sector charge very much higher interest on loans, and the cost to the borrower of informal loans is much higher. And now you can understand that higher cost of borrowing, it means a larger part of the earnings of the people borrower used to repay the loan. And you can understand here that who needed loans or who needed extra money to complete their needs and requirements, it means their income is very less or low, like Shamal, like Rama. That's why he needs to take loan from another person to complete their needs and requirement or anything whatever they want. Okay. And also students, the high interest rate for borrowing, it means that the amount to be repaid is greater than the income of borrower, and this is responsible to increasing the debt of the borrower also, as you saw in the case of Shamal and Rama. And finally, completely, Rama is too much poor among the or in the compare of Varun, Shamal. That's why she trapped into a debt. Alright. So students, one question will arise here, that why is it necessary that banks and cooperatives increase their lending in rural areas? So students, answer is banks and cooperatives should increase their lending in rural areas because formal sector charges low rate of interest, and lack of formal sources of credit in villages, and villages mainly depend on informal sector. All right, they charge high rate of interest and borrowers come under debt trap. Therefore, there is a need to expand formal sectors so that everyone receives these loans. And cheap and affordable credit is very, very important for the development of country and people. And students, if they will get cheap loans on the very cheap interest rates by the formal sector, then they could grow crops and they can do or start any new small scale industries or any small business, and also they could set up new industries or they can start a new trade and business to improve their conditions. Alright, understood? After that, today's last topic is formal and informal credit, who gets what. Okay? So students, on the basis of graph 2, which is given on page number 49, you can see that two color is given, blue color for loans from the informal sector and purple color is stand for loans from the formal sector. So students, you know very well that in India, the people are mostly divided into 4 groups, from poor to rich, and according to graph in which poor household takes loan, it means 85% poor household takes loan from informal sector and only 15% takes loan from the banks. And household with few assets, they takes, or 53% households with few assets takes loan from informal sector and only 47% households with few assets takes loan from formal sector. And well-off household who are aware by the government policy and they have also credit to show in the banks. That's why 72% well-off household takes loan from the banks, and only 28% well-off households takes loan from their relatives or friends or any source of informal sector. But if we will check out the graph 4, in which we can see that a rich household or 90% rich people takes loan from the banks or the formal sector, and only 10% rich households takes loan from the informal sector or from their relative or friend. All right. So students, here we have to understand that on the basis of formal and informal credit, who gets what. And as I told you above that, if Government of India opens a different government institutions or bank to provide loan only also not rich people, also for the poor and who has very less income, or for those whose earning is also very minimum and they cannot complete their needs and requirement for whole year. So why a great difference given, or we can see in the graph 2. Where is lacking? Where is the problem? So students, the first main important point is because there is no any formal sources or institution or banks in more number in the villages in which farmers or poor villagers can take loan from the bank. That's why it is very important and compulsory to expand or to open formal source of credit in the villages of India. And due to the very less number of banks in villages, people forced to take loan from informal lenders with very high interest rate. And this is very problematic, and it is a kind of obstacle to increase the income of poor or those person who have taken loan from the informal sources or from the money lender. So it is very necessary and important that banks and cooperative increase their lending, especially in the rural areas of India, so the dependence on informal sources of credit can be reduces. And second important point related to this, while formal sector loans need to expand, and it is also necessary that those people who have required money, first of all, they receive these loans. Because in the above example, which I discussed to you on the basis of graph 2, you have seen that mostly rich people takes loan from the formal sector and poor people is unable to take loan. That's why it is the responsibility of the government institutions or banks to provide credit or loan to the needy people of India with very low interest rate. As I told you, daily agriculture workers or daily wage earners like agriculture workers and small farmers like Shamal and Rama, they are needed loan from the formal sector, because if they are taking loan from the informal sector, then they both are unable to improve their condition even in a coming year. And instead of improving their condition, they trapped into debt. That's why it is very important and necessary to expand formal sector in the villages, but it is also very necessary that everyone receives these loans. So students, for today that's all, and in my next explanation I will discuss with you self-help groups for the poor. Alright, so listen my lecture very carefully, and anywhere you have any doubt or confusion, then contact me. Alright, thank you and have a nice day.